let's inscript. I'm gonna do the 0 deck today, I think. I think that would be a fun deck to Skullstorm on, see how many decks we can beat this with. As I said before, I have beaten it with 7 of the 8, um, multiple times for 6 of the 8. Alright, everything's froze up. Here we go. But yeah, this is the deck I have the highest win percentage with in my playing around. So hopefully we can kind of smash through pretty quickly on the better decks, and then, spend eternity trying to beat the worst ones. Okay, so we should talk a little about this deck. Everything is 0 cost, and that means it's really easy for us to get out expensive cards, because we essentially have so many things that can work as extra squirrels. Also, if we can give these good abilities or boost their stats, then we can just get incredible value with no blood cost, right? And that's going to make us so much more streamlined in how fast we can do stuff. The downside is it has just no power at all. So if we don't see good cards here, like it can just be impossible to kill things. And sometimes we have to take cards like maybe Wolf Cub is appealing, or maybe we should just take Direwolf or Grizzly Bears, just so we have something that can punch through. Now, I think the first thing we should take is Field Mice, because if we can get Fecundity on one of these cards, suddenly it kind of has the Warren effect. If it has a thing and it spawns an extra free card, and as if you watch my last playthrough, the Warren is a fantastic card. And so Fecundity, we can sort of build that Warren effect, but we can do it on potentially better cards than the Warren. Like the Gek 1/1 is a better stat line than O2. So I'm really tempted to take the Field Mice. There's also a case for Corpse Maggots plus either Direwolf or Grizzly. That gives us an easy way to get it out. But we actually should be able to play the cost pretty easily as is. This is one of those decks that can really pay the cost of these things. So I'm tempted to take something really high power, so we can fight through, and the Field Mice. There's a case for Wolf Cub, just a decent card, but I think I should be between Field Mice, Corpse Maggots, Direwolf, and Grizzly. And Direwolf versus Grizzly, when neither have Annoying, and they won't have Annoying, they both can take 1 hit from the Grizzly Bear wall. Which is closer to being able to do 5 damage? Well, they're each +1 attack away. Which is closer to being able to take out a Grizzly, 6 damage, survive a hit, and take the next one? Direwolf only needs +1 attack to do that. Now, if Grizzly got 2 pluses to defense, it could do that, but if Direwolf got 2 pluses to defense, it could also. So I think I'm going to go Direwolf and Field Mice here. As I've said before, I think Corpse Maggots into expensive stuff is really nice, but is a little tricky to control on some fights where you need a thing to land specifically. Alright, so we could already move Fecundity over, but I think we should start by getting stat boosts. We should see what we can boost. If we can boost Direwolf to a 3/5, that's fantastic. If we can boost something like Gek to, even a 1/3 and then put Fecundity on it, that's really powerful. Yeah, let's see what the campfire gives. I'm not sure this is right. Alright, that's the worst of the outcomes, but even here, I think just making the Gek be able to do work. Now it can take a hit for 1. Just being able to play a 1/3 for 0 cost is pretty mighty. Right, I hate the gold pick. I don't want to go center. But we're not going to be a one-hand deck, or a one-cost. We're not going to be able to use fair hand mechanic that well this deck. I think I'm going to go for items. Let's see what items we get. Let's go to the right here. So I need to use both my items. There's some people that just automatically click them and don't bother to check, if we were going for items or not. And that's fine, because you're probably not going to lose the early fights, but... So you can see, we can already afford the direwolf. We can just play a turn 1 direwolf. And you might say, okay, that's because we drew a squirrel, but if we had drawn a 0 cost instead of the field mice, we'd also already be able to play a turn 1 direwolf. So, doesn't really matter where it goes. We're going to play the turn 1 direwolf. And if we draw the Gek, we'll get slightly more overkill damage, but you can see this is the deck kind of most capable, besides the Goat deck, of putting out expensive cards. Alright, we didn't get the draw for maximum extra damage, but that's fine. But it's such a solid base of things that do not cost anything to you. You know, a resource, right? Blood is a resource that you have somewhat limited supply of. I'm gonna go Reptile. Alright, I wish I hadn't. That card sucks. Looks like another item or a sack is coming up. Both Wrench and Fan give outs versus the boss. I'll take the Wrench. I'd also take the Black Goat, I guess. Ah, shame. This combines much better with the Fan. So we might go for items again in a sec, but okay. Yeah, that's a real shame. I mean, the Wrench goes with any kill, right? Or any rotate, so it goes with more things than the Fan does. So that is the right pick. You should pick the Wrench over the Fan there. Magical Bleach is less likely to occur than any one of like Scissors or the turning thing. You know, there were multiple outs the other way. It's just a pain when it comes the wrong way. So this turn we can't quite play our Direwolf immediately, but we don't need to. What we can instead do is Field Mice. That'll heal 2 for us. And the Snow Fur will block one of the bull's attacks, and the bull will eventually run in front of the Field Mice and kill itself. And another thing we can do in this deck, as we're kind of figuring out how to play it, is we can keep in mind that we can draw from main deck a lot more when interested. What are you doing? When interested in getting out big expensive cards, right? Sorry, a pop-up thing occurred. So it's like, it's easier for us. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. Brain dead. Let's go this way and get out Direwolf, because that will up our damage slightly. Not that it makes much difference. Oh, and we should be using our items. My bad. Let's use both. This won't KO. This will mean we take them to 1, and we can do a bunch of overkill next turn. But let's use our items. These were not the answers. And it's a shame we now don't get to grab the sacrifice square, because that would have been great. But we're not going to get everything, and sometimes the stuff just doesn't come right. So, okay. Still, like, I'm pretty happy with the start. I think Field Mice is a nice pickup. We obviously have real power with a Direwolf, and we can clearly play Direwolf, right? We have a deck that can afford to run it. And so it's a nice pickup in this deck where it's probably too costly for some other decks. So there's a temptation to take Grizzlies. I think I'm going to take Beehive. I think we have enough power, and Beehive just gives more tools to get there. All right, we get an item and a sack square either way, but I'd much rather the 3-card choice. Okay. It just doesn't want to give us a good way to do it. Okay, I'm going to take this here. With the Beehive, we can create a bee. And so with the Turner plus the Direwolf, we can do 4. And if we make a bee with the Beehive, that's a 5th point of damage. So we do, but we need the Bleach to let a flyer through. Is this the first time we've actually drawn Gek? Anyway, per usual, we can just put down an extraordinary amount of turn 1 power, which really should tell you how good a card swirls are, right? Because essentially we're just playing a ton of squirrels, and you can see that the deck early in the, like, I mean, these aren't particularly hard levels, but this is access to power way earlier than you normally have it. So we're gonna get lethal this turn, which probably means let's just do it this way. Not massive overkill or anything, but a little. Worried about the boss because we need them to hit the beehive, right? If we can't get them to hit the beehive, we don't have a way to win. So we need it to be one of the bosses. I never remember. At the start, it says a little message that tells you what your boss is going to be, but I never pay attention to that. Do we need another direwolf? I think I'm just going to take Wolf Cub. I'm going to take stuff that can get in little bits of damage and feels like decent value. That's the Trapper. Okay, so we really do need to grab little bits of value. Because the Trapper's a pain. But we can get it to hit the beehive. That's pretty easy. So my instinct was put Field Mice on Gek, but Field Mice Fecundity on Beehive creates so much stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to do that. It can blank, but it can also just really go off. And this gives us more tools to hit our beehive. Now we're a bit more reliant on the we're pretty reliant on we're pretty reliant on Direwolf. I don't actually want to give up a card here. Maybe I give up Rabbit into Tadpole. It's not ideal at all, but I think we kind of want the power of Wolf Cub. I guess I could put Wolf Cub on Direwolf. That's kind of interesting. It's gonna be so hard for us to clear out the stuff on this stage. But Wolf Cub doesn't help a ton for that. So I'm gonna put. Oh, the Rattler is useful to keep in mind, but we won't get to 6 bones. Or it'll be hard for us to get to 6 bones. I'm not sure about this. This makes the Direwolf, like if we can get it down during the pre-boss stage, on the boss stage, if we clear a row, it can do damage. But I think I've screwed up. I think our deck's too narrow. I don't think we can beat the bullfrogs, or the trap ones. Annoying to get this boss first. But I think okay, well we can create a billion bees, and that helps. So we're going to be moving generally to the right, so this is the square. The beehive definitely blocks stuff. And we have a second beehive, so we're going to be able to block a whole bunch of damage. So we'll only take one, and we'll make a lot of bees. We need to save one bee. We need to get the Direwolf into center left when we beat this phase. But you can see the bees come with fecundity, which is amazing, even on the second beehive. So we have so many bees. And so we should be, I think we have this. All right, Gek can do some clearing out. That's good. We'll save the bees. I'd rather use Gek. It stays on the board for 2 turns. But we get 2 bees out of every beehive, and each of those bees creates another. So we're going to end up with 8 bees out of this. Tadpole, not doing a ton for me. So I'm just going to put down bees. Oh, can we get the Rattler out? No. That would be nice. Because that would hit for 3. we're just going to make sure we don't take a ton of damage. We just need to keep like enough bees. We will need to cast Direwolf. You might find that a little difficult. But here's Direwolf. And we should now have the Rattler. So we can clear out their board, and then we just have to play Direwolf and get a bee out. And we have it. Now we don't want to deck ourselves, that's important. So we have to clear this lane. This is the critical lane. Yeah. And then we have to finish the fight pretty fast. Like, I can't spend a few turns setting more stuff up because we just don't have that many turns. But it's pretty comfortable. That's a little annoying because that's in a lane we want to attack on, but it will move out of the way immediately. And we don't mind taking a little damage on the Direwolf. That's not a problem. So what we're going to do, let's make sure everything's recording. That's a good. All right, it's good. What we're going to do is we're going to get Direwolf in the square we need it. It will also evolve, which will mean we actually don't need the extra hit from the bee. But I'll certainly take it. And we'll play a bee here. God, we made so many bees. You can see why I really like the Fecund Beehive. I should have checked the damage. I was hoping that would get them down, but should have actually checked how much life I was at. Right. So the Elder Direwolf just gets like +1/+1 or something. +1/+2 maybe. Yeah, we don't want to block any of the other lanes. Especially, it's very important we don't put anything in the far left because we got to use the Turner thing. All right, and we can use the Turner, and we're good. And we don't have to use the magic bleach, but I think I will. It's just 1 extra point of damage, but I also like emptying our items, so we have a better chance to draw a combo that can beat future Grizzly Bear Walls. So I think this deck has a much, like, I've said that, I keep saying this, but the low cost means it is so free to take cards like Direwolf that other decks just can't run. But it is a really obviously powerful card. I like Grizzly of these cards. There's a case for Pronghorn, but again, we can run cards like Grizzly, and we don't want too many of these in our deck, right? Maybe we just want Direwolf. We don't want 2 of these. But if there's any deck that can run this stuff, this is that deck. Ooh. We have choices. So left is an item refill. To the right, we could duplicate our Super Beehive, our Fecund Beehive. And in the center, we get a Sigil Sack, which we don't want, and a super card, or a potential super card. I'm going to go to the right. I'm going to try to get us a new Super Beehive. Ooh, more Fecundity. Yeah, let's take more Fecundity. We can put that on something else. Maybe the Gek. You know, a 0-cost 1/3 that creates another one is just so good. But for now, there's actually a case, especially because we might hit the mycologist later. If we duplicate the Gek, let's duplicate the Gek. I think the Beehive is better, but if we hit a mycologist later, we can combine this and get like a 0-cost 2. It's going to only be a 2/4. We got unlucky. But like a 0-cost 2/6 is just insane. All right, we're going to get an item refill here. I'd rather the items than the fire. Because we put Evolve on the Direwolf, we really don't need to boost its stats more. It's capable of doing 6 on its own now. All right, this looks 1/1, 1/1. All Alright. So I'm gonna actually put the field mice in front of the wolf cub just so it takes it out next turn. And I'll put the tadpole out, may as well get a point of damage next turn. Not a great opening hand. Ooh. Wolves are problems. Let's draw from our main deck. Again, we have more freedom to draw from our main deck than usual. Okay, not ideal. Because that wolf's coming. Alpha's a bit annoying. That kills the bullfrog because the bullfrog has a annoying. Let's main deck again. Okay, we can take out the wolf. We could double sack into field mice. We may as well, because that gets us an extra bone, 2 bones. So we're now only 1 away, I think, from being able to afford the Rattler. We take 3 here. We do survive. This is funky. I gotta draw main deck. Alright, good draw. Gek, we can pick up Possum. We hit back for 2, and they'll do 2, so we don't die. That's important. Don't play something else? Okay, the mole we can live with. So they do 2. Now I think we still can't play the Rattler, so there's no point not going main deck. We do 3, they do 4. We don't lose this turn. Our Gek does die. This went really bad. Yeah. I need to block the alpha. If we block the alpha, we're okay. We have to main deck. Okay. No, it doesn't quite work. I think. No, it doesn't work, because we have to put the Rattler here. And then if we could play the beehive in the far left, we'd hold, because the mole would jump in front of the field mice. But it won't, so the mole's going to do 1 damage and kill us. Ah, that sucks. Or this way, the alpha does 1 damage and kill us. Tricky opening hand. I'll have to look back on the tape on this one of where I think I screwed up. Because I think, like, again, it's very possible you don't do anything wrong and things, but I think I can't say it's because I added the Grizzly to my deck. That didn't do it. Because we didn't draw the Grizzly. Maybe I needed to pick up items sooner. Maybe I survive if I get more items. That's a shame. That seemed like a very promising run. Right. We had a nice core. We had upgraded the Gek a bit. Alright, what do we got this time? I don't like these cards. There's not really that... The power here isn't close to being able to take stuff. But I have to take something that does damage. I can't just take beehive type stuff. I hate the Great White. It doesn't block. Terrible. I hate Moosebuck. Alright, I'm going to take Mud Turtle. So you really have freedom to take a lot of stuff, but if the stuff sucks, it's pretty unpleasant. Alright, where are we going? I can't quite see what's at the very top left. I don't really have any ability I want to move. Are we going to the Woodcarver? God, this is a terrible opening. We're going to lose. None of this is very relevant to us. We'll take insect. More likely to transition towards insects than birds. I don't really use birds. Okay, there's items here, so we'll go left. That was the space I couldn't see. And we'll use both our items, but we have no power, right? It didn't pick up any power. Probably should have grabbed the moose buck. I just don't like that card except in the goat deck. Right, the squirrel doesn't even help us because we have nothing that wants to, pay to run. We can't kill the bullfrog, so okay. We will stick the bee hive in front of it. We'll get some bees. That gives us something to attack with. Technically, this is attacking power. Alright. Well, the adder will kill the gek. Alright, got a main deck. Okay, we got our mud turtle. There's a case for keeping it up so it can swing back at the adder, but I think we just got to try to outpace them. Oh, I was supposed to play the bee, of course, and we would have KO'd them. We'll win next turn, but that was silly. Or I'll pretend that was optimizing future damage because now we'll get slightly more overkill. Yeah, we'll pretend that was according to plan. But you can see this time I just have no power, and it's the easiest mistake to make on this deck is to just have very limited power. And last we just picked up a big expensive power card most decks can't run, and we instantly had power. This run, no, we're not going to have it. And so if we see something big and powerful, we should be very tempted. I'm going to take the Wolf Cub and turn into a 3-2. This run feels pretty hopeless already. Alright, Turner, that's good. And another Turner. Okay, that can open up 2 slots. So that gives us actually we don't need that much power now. Like, the Wolf Cub can do 3 if it evolves, and the Mud Turtle can do 2, but we still need exactly those 2 cards. So it's still kind of like we're in terrible shape. Okay, I think we have to kill the bat. So let's get the Mud Turtle down, and we'll save the Gek to pick off. Oh, the 1/1 is underwater anyway, so we'll just put that somewhere else. We could have it hit the beehive, but it would die on response because it has annoying. I don't think that's worth it. We'll try to hit the beehive with the Wolf Cub, and that gives the Wolf Cub a safe place to land if needed. And per usual on this deck, we're going to go main deck a lot. I don't think they have anything grounded, because the Kingfisher flies. So the beehive doesn't seem very relevant. Okay, once the River Otter kills the Gek, we can block that. I'm going to main deck again. There's no need to put the beehive out. And we're going to main deck next turn because we got, essentially a squirrel from our main deck. So Gek goes down. And we can main deck. And we got our last bit of tiny value. I want to get the Wolf Cub out first. Yeah, let's do that. Because then we can... When the Wolf Cub hits the beehive, we get bees. So we can start getting other things to attack with off their generosity of spirit. And actually, even though the River Otter goes underwater, you don't go underwater if you're in the back row. So the wolf will clear their back row. Not that that's very important, but actually we're not quite lethaling them this turn. So it will be nice because it will clear out space next turn. Yeah, I feel bad about the last run. That one hurt. We can't move the beehive to get out a bee, so this is the most damage we can do. But it really is, like, speaks to how good the deck is that you can see a card like Direwolf and just immediately be in great shape. When most decks see a card like Direwolf and go, I just can't play that. Alright, I'm tempted to take the reptile because I love skink. Cockroach would be great from insect. Canines. Another wolf cub would be nice. I'm going to go insect, though I don't want an ant. Alright, well, we got an ant. But we also have the insect totem, which I thought pushed me slightly in that direction over reptile. Okay, +2 health. We just have no answers to the first boss, by the way. Just none. The wolf cub would be a lot better at landing, and we need the things that do damage to be able to land. My first instinct is put this on the beehive, but I think like the wolf cub surviving a turn is such a big deal for us. That item at the end is going to be another 2/2 for 2, which is actually pretty good for us because we are so low on raw power. But what's our answer to the boss? It's to use both turners and have wolf cub and 2 more damage ready to hit. Ugh. It's just also sketchy. I'm gonna land with as much power as I can this turn. Because we go to 6, we go to 5, we almost lethal them if we can add 1 more damage. Oh, geez, that's rude. We just wanted the wolf cub to survive a turn, and now it can't. But if we can draw 1 more power, and we can't. We can't. Could genuinely just lose this now. I'm going to put the tadpole here. It'll hit something next turn. Can chump a damage with the rabbit, but we don't kill them anyway, so I'd rather have the rabbit for later. But we used like all our power in our deck here, so we have no damage left. We need the adders to move first, and they will. We can pick off one of the adders. That's something. Okay, I forgot we still have the mud turtle. We could play it, but I'd rather just grab this kill. That's rude, but maybe the longer we delay mud turtle, the more we can see where they put down all their cards. Okay, I'm going to go main deck. Okay. May as well chuck this out. We can pick off the adder, and we save mud turtle for outpacing something later. Yeah, the skink's going to dodge, but that will stop the stupid adder from coming in for a turn. Let's see our last card. Forgot what it was. We sack this to the beehive. We'll get 2 turns of beehive. 2 bees seems worth more than a bullfrog. Right? Because when the adder kills it, we'll get another one. We can start hitting back. Again, I'm going to wait a sec on the mud turtle just to get the most value out of our other cards first. And also to make sure we can pick off the adder. I should have... I guess either way I put it, the adder was gonna, or one of their 2 cards was gonna land in a place that could hit the bee. Alright, they surrender. You know what? We will lethal them this turn. Alright. That wasn't the worst thing that could have happened, but like, it really shows how precarious this is. And we went from last round where we were just destroying these battles, to this time where we really need every last bit of damage. Because we're going to run out. Alright, first instinct to go left. Do we have any sacrifices we want to make? I don't have sigils I need to move. I mean, our deck's just bad cards. So I'll go left. Hopefully the fire gives us a power boost for something. Alright, I'll take a mantis. 2 power at 1 cost right now seems like incredible value. I would be very happy to get a plus power on it. Okay, we did not get it. But still a useful card. I think it's got to be, we just need a huge wolf cub right now. No, but doesn't need help. Is help gonna do it? No, let's get the beehive. Let's get the beehive. Oh, maybe there was a case for mantis. Maybe I should have put it on mantis. I didn't think about that. All right, we get a 2/2 for 2, which lets us re-roll an item. This is genuinely great for us right now. Because 2/2 for 2 right now is just like 2 power. Oh my god. We have something that can attack. This run's not going well. Last run was great till it instantly ended. So if we lose to this boss, I'm probably going to stop for tonight. But I think the first run was winnable. These cards are not great, but I almost always just pass the first turn against the Angler and hope he lines his Kingfishers up, because then you can get his hook to take them both out of the action in a single turn. That won't be the case here. We get a main deck because this is very main deck. And we'll go down to 1, as is the way versus the Angler. He always pulls before the Kingfishers move, so you just put it in front of 1. Doesn't really matter which. And let's main deck. See more cards. And I need to put something out to catch up on damage a bit. So we're only going to we need stuff to only be in the center and right, the right and far right, because we're going to turn twice. And we need those to have 5 power, which means we basically need it to be the Mud Turtle. We can throw the Mantis out later. All right, so we don't want the Mantis out immediately. Let's just put out the Worker Ant. I don't care about the Worker Ant. We'll probably sacrifice it later to something more valuable, but we need a point of damage to survive this turn. He won't send anything out besides these Kingfishers till stage 2 if we get him as the first boss, so we're going to chuck this Aqua Squirrel to him. We could give him the Worker Ant, let him take the Worker Ant, and then block it with the Beehive at some point. Just to get some bees, but I think that is too complex for our needs. All right, we got the Pack Rat. So Pack Rat or Mud Turtle can do damage, but I think actually the cleanest way is Wolf does 3, Gek does 1 extra, Gek does 1 extra, or Worker Ant does 1 extra. Actually, we can leave Worker Ant. Does 1 extra, and then one of the grizzly bears we've pulled over, we sacked to be the Mantis. And that's the 5th point of damage. Alright, we got the Gek. We don't need the Gek. What we need is to get the Wolf Cub. We need the Wolf Cub not to be the bottom of our deck, because we don't want to deck ourselves doing this. Let's get this out of the way and make sure they don't take our Worker Ant, because actually our Worker Ant's going to be part of our final 5 damage. But we need to draw the Wolf Cub. Okay, there's Wolf Cub. We can play it immediately. We don't need Gek for later. Yeah, so we're going to bring them to 3 life left this turn. We'll KO them next turn. And then with our 2 turners, we have it. Not a good deck. Not a good deck. But with 2 good items, sufficient to beat a first boss, I guess. Which, as I've said, is often the hardest part, but with this deck, maybe not. This deck, it might be staying good after that. Alright, so our game plan was turn once. And you can see why we went on the right, far right, because this way we have 2 things unblocked. And then my key extra point of damage was the Mantis. And that's 5. Alright, we beat a Grizzly Wall. which we did last time. Last time we were in good shape, though. This time we're in terrible shape. But we'll see if we can keep it going. Good cards, please. That's a good card. Thank you. All right, if we can get that like on the Gek, just an immortal 0-cost thing that can do damage, can just be magnificent, and could single-handedly do a ton of work. Oh man, look at these two sides. The left has multiple chances for broken cards. The right has all the items. We're going to go left because I really want to get the sacrifice to put Cockroach on another card. Might be hard for us to meet the requirements because we don't have like power or health, but we should have abilities, right? Like our early cards have annoying. Only the Worker Ant doesn't have an ability, and a lot of our cards have multiple. So 1, 2. What terrible luck. We needed Worker Ant and none of the things with multiple not to win that one. That's very rude. Okay. So we're going to put Cockroach. This is the right choice, right? Yeah. We're going to go put Cockroach on the Gek. It's just being able to play a 1-1 infinitely. It means we can play it and sacrifice it and then play it again. It means we can put it out and have it just block a lane turn after turn. That's just, it's so good. An Undying Gek is, an Undying 0-cost thing is good, but an Undying 0-cost thing that has power, non-zero power, is very good. Okay, 3 damage and they dodge. Alright, so I think we need the Wolf Cub out quickly so that we can start matching their damage. Maybe should have put it center right. Because it on its own will be able to cancel out both of theirs. I'd really like to get the Pack Rat out quickly, but I'm just worried we're going to take a bunch of damage here. So I'm going to make sure we're ahead on the board. So we do 4 here. Yeah, because we're going to be seeing more things. And their things will be in the air, so we don't have good ways to block them. And our things will not. In fact, I think maybe... Yeah, here's what we'll do. We'll keep their tail feathers on the board, so they can't get through that. We'll play the Pack Rat. That gives us an item. And this will force their Raven to dodge, which will then get it killed, and they'll only do 1 with the Sparrow. And we get an item. Now, the item turned out to be trash, but we have them still having the tail feathers alive is great for us. They can't block up that lane. Shame we got a nothing item. Completely useless for our deck. Luckily, the Stoat doesn't kill the wolf. Nice thing the wolf has some health boost. And also the Pack Rat gets to hit before... Oh, thank God we're at 2, not 1. Yeah, the Pack Rat hits before the wolf. Alright. So, sorry for the pause there. So now we just outpace. Yeah. I don't think there's any need to play anything. The Beehive can't block anything. If the Ant kills their Sparrow, they just play another Sparrow that will dodge and get in the way. So, this seems most efficient. Oh, I should have used the item. Because we won't get a refill before the next fight, because we're going left, not right. But I should have used the item to clear the space, just as a general practice there. It's not at all relevant to our deck. We'd rather just make sure I don't screw up and have an item when I shouldn't have one. Okay, I'm going to go for the abilities again. It's almost always the best choice. Definitely is for our deck. We just need the Ant not to screw us. Okay, so we're good. Yeah. Terrible luck last time. Okay, that's no good. That's not good. That's incredible. Okay, so we don't have to pay for it. It comes out and does crazy damage. It will come out after their turn, because after something dies, so it will almost always get the first hit. And it lets us play the rest of our hand. It has the cat many lives. Oh, that might be a game changer. That also gives us a tool against bosses that can do serious damage. Now we don't always control where it comes out. We'll have to be really astute about it. But that's very strong. Where do we put 2 health? I think we put it on the worker ant because we just try to get it out of the deck. Making Direwolf a 2/7 would be nice, but I really want worker ant gone. So it's either now a 1/6, I guess it's a 1/6, or we lose it from the deck. Okay, which way do we want to go? We're not going to be getting an item. We could try to copy the Direwolf or copy the Geth. Yeah, I think we have to go left here. I think we have to go left. So we're going to use the bones just so I don't forget to. May as well put out the worker ant somewhere. Oh, I didn't need to use this actually, because I could have sacked the Gek to get it out. So I should have saved the squirrel. There's me, not having proper Gek strategy down. The mole has +1, but by the time it attacks, the Gek will be dead, so it'll be an 0-4. I think it still will show the attack animation, because it could attack previously, but it doesn't. Alright, main deck. We kind of never need to not go main deck. Let's play the Mantis. Isn't the Gek amazing? Just able to play out hands and hit at the end of turns for any squares we don't have used. Oh, I did just get our Mantis killed. I did not count that correctly. Okay. I may not be the smartest, but the Gek is great. Alright. Man, it would be great if we could draw some cards. The ant is actually surviving a long time. It's doing pretty well. I can't complain about that. But we also can't really heal much because it's hard for us to hit them. So it's a good thing we're still at 5 health. Alright, main deck. Always main deck. And a pack rat. Lovely. Let's sacrifice the tadpole to it. I think in this spot, maybe this is wrong, but I think the rabbit is better because it can block than the tadpole. It can never gain strength, but it can block. We get a good item? Nope. Just going to use it. And per usual, when we don't have something to do, the Get can happily take up the empty square and block it up, and save us a point of damage. I wish we'd drawn our new super card though. But Gek is good. There we go. Alright. I'm gonna put out the rabbit because the Gek will attack and die into the porcupine. And then they'll get in hits on the direwolf. This way they get fewer hits on the direwolf. Ah, the direwolf goes there anyway. But it wouldn't have gone there. It would have gone in the center right because our first to die would have been the Gek because the Gek would have died attacking into the porcupine. You'll surrender. Oh. I'm gonna go for our win because I'm gonna enjoy this direwolf. We worked hard for this. Man, we create so many bones in this deck. That's kind of interesting, right? It means if we see a high bone cost card or something like Lammergeier, we might really be able to pay that off. Now, I still don't think we particularly have a way to beat the boss, but we have some very good cards now in our deck. Our Gek is amazing, and we're going to get to copy one of the Gek or the Direwolf. Hopefully we get a good copy. Ooh, up ahead we have the Trader. Let's try to get another Cockroach. Okay, we'll take another Mantis. Which means we're going to get a stabby thing. So that's our answer to the boss, is we'll have the skinning knife. Okay, what do we copy? Clearly choice between Direwolf and Gek. Honestly, it's I want to say it's Gek. Yeah, I'm going to go Gek here. But two of those Direwolves... No, I'm going to go Direwolf. The Direwolf can play itself. That's really important. And even if it loses one of the abilities, the other's pretty good. We have to hope it loses. If it loses one, it loses many lives. That's the less relevant one. It keeps both. It's a 2/3. I'll take it. And it just plays itself. All right, we don't get an item refill. So it would be really nice. We have a pack rat in our deck, right? It'd be really nice if we could play the pack rat this game. So like we shouldn't accept a forfeit, and if we clear the board, we should look to win kind of slowly to try to get our pack rat out. You see, there's our pack rat. You have Stinky. Pack rat can still kill that. So we go here. We'll put the pack rat on the left just so it does kill it. And we'll play our Gek again. Oh, we got scissors. Okay, I think we're in great shape for the second boss. I think we have this covered. Love to see anything lined up with our Gek, right? Our Gek can take hit for days. I'm going to put out the Tadpole. May as well get an extra point of damage in a turn. Kind of no reason not to. A little bit annoying. It would be nice to draw one of our Direwolves. Again, damage is hard come by right now. Okay. That's a... Alright. In the center, this does more, but no, it doesn't because the wolf has Stinky. So here at least it does a point of damage. And may as well use the Gek here because it's the replaceable value. The pack rat's gonna die, and I don't have a way to... Oh, we have lethal. Great. Excellent. All according to plan. So we have 2 kill items here, and we're facing the Prospector. And we definitely have the overkill damage to buy the skinning knife. Actually, we didn't have that much to spare because we can't do damage, right? I was thinking this is so late, and I try to pick up extra damage, but we do so little damage. Did we pick up a woodcarver earlier this run? I forget if it was this run or last run. It was this run. All right. I don't know if we have any insects, but if we do, this is fantastic, right? We love tutoring. Man, can't believe this run we might win and last run we didn't. Oh, we do have some insects. Bunch of mantises, the worker ant. Oh, I actually think we're in very good shape now. What I need now is power. And you might say I've needed that the whole way. But I need power and maybe reliability. So how can we make things more reliable? Well, worker ant now tutors. I want to get rid of rabbit. I love squirrel type cards. I love squirrel type cards. But and we can put its ability on the pelt, which means we don't have to give something else annoying. But I think at this point, our 1-drops are going to be bigger impact, and we're going to want to be able to draw them more. Okay. Prospector. Okay, that's fine. Beast moving around. Probably stop after this fight and continue another time. But yeah, now that we have searching, we can get. Oh, the beehive has it too. That's fantastic. That's great. So we can use any insect is now a fantastic card, right? Just like untouchably good. We can use that to get Gek, right? And then we can use Gek to put out Mantis. And then we can use Mantis to get Direwolf. Let's get the better one, though it doesn't really matter. I wish they had one more attack, of course, because... And then we may as well get the point of damage. Because it does 4. So we really need Direwolf plus a hit from Mantis. And we create so many bones. Again, worth keeping in mind. We don't need to care so much about where our units are. Bees are insects too. Alright, main deck for sure. Pack rat. We don't need it this turn, but it's nice to have in our hand. Yeah, nothing too exciting to do here. A shame we lose our Mantis, because the Mantis actually is critical to getting an extra point of damage, but we'll tutor our other Mantis. Probably could have lethaled by sacking the beehive into something, but okay, that's fine. I guess we'll sacrifice the Gek, because why not? And we'll do that to get out the Mud Turtle, just to make sure we kill the Pack Mule. Just so there's a chance we get extra cards. Now, sacking the beehive is a little suspicious, because, again, bees can tutor, and we do want to tutor here. But we can also play a bee, and that grabs us the other Mantis, which we need for the extra point of damage. And now we can finish this phase. We didn't need to kill the Pack Mule, but it's nice to make sure we get the bonus cards. Well, the alpha actually gives us an alternate win. I had the video on this didn't save, but when I was trying on the bones one before I got on the runs where the video didn't save, I had a run where if I had gotten an alpha off the Prospector, I would have survived, but I didn't. Okay, and we'll use the scissors rather than the skinning knife, because the skinning knife's a little better. So right now we're hitting for 4, but we can put the Mantis out for a 5th point of damage, and we get there. And let's grab our other Direwolf. I love tutoring. Oh, we should have sacked into the Pack Rat first. And okay. And with this fight won, we shall save and quit in a moment. Alright, got the win. Gotta pick a card. And it's gotta be Cockroach. And let's stop here. Nope, not end, wrong. Yeah, it did save. Okay, good to start screen. Okay, I'm recording this the next day, but we're gonna splice these two together into one video, like something or other, competent at video management. And yeah, I think we're on map 3, just entering it. Sounds right. Our deck looks great right now. One potential flaw is we have like a lot of good cards, but we don't particularly. We might not draw the answers we need at any point in time, right? And there's sort of two ways to try to guarantee that. There's the fair hand mechanic, where like if Gek was our only 0 or 1 drop, we'd be guaranteed it in our opening hand, but we could easily get Mantis. Except Mantis and Worker Ant have tutoring, so really we need to not get Tadpole, I think. I think Tadpole's our weakness, so that's something to focus on. Yeah, and then the other thing is we need power. We still need power. Like a dire wolf, these dire wolves can hit for 4 a turn, um, but the final boss we need to do 80 damage, and we just Gek can slowly chip that down, but we might deck ourselves. Dire wolf, say this one's worth 8 or so, this one's worth 4. We're nowhere close to 80, right? So we should really be looking to prioritize two things: power and getting rid of Tadpole. So with that in mind, let's play the third world. Now, if you look at this, I see power. I also see Flying Ant, which gives us tutoring abilities. But, oh, that's close. Because we do have the Insect Totem. So all ants are just amazing cards now. It's still hard to pay for 3 cost, even with Gek. I'm gonna go Flying Ant. That's probably wrong, but... And then we don't want to... Well, we could remove Tadpole from our deck here. We don't need another item. We're actually pretty good there. I'm gonna duplicate. And then maybe we'll head to the mycologist and just get a huge dire wolf out of this. We could also paint Gek. We did dire wolf last time. Let's do Gek this time. Because this card is obviously very good. Alright, it's still a 1-1. I was hoping we'd get the attack boost to 1, but I'm really glad we didn't get the attack minus to 0-1. So one interesting choice we're going to have is, are we going to want to go to the cave and get a good card in a sec, or are we going to want to get rid of our pelt? And I think we'll go to the cave, because I think we actually want, again, we want power. And I don't think it's so bad for us to have a useless card in our deck. We have a ton of tutoring. We can avoid it, as long as it's not a 1-drop. Alright, so we can get into Mantis, but wait, why did I play this Auto Squirrel? Okay, I guess we'll put out the Pack Rat. And we'll use the Pack Rat to eat one of the Ravens. I'm really not sure where to put the Mantis. I'm going to put it on the far left. I really do want to play it this turn because it lets us tutor. But I don't want it to die to the Porcupine. Actually, it's fine if it dies to the Porcupine, because what we're going to tutor is one of the dire wolves. And so it will die, or the Gek will die. Both will die. But either way, we'll get the... And we almost had lethal here. And in fact, we probably would have had lethal if I just put out the dire wolf. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about lethal, I was thinking about next turn. So the dire wolf gets played automatically. And we just always go main deck. Let's start chipping away at that Porcupine. But I think this is lethal from the dire wolf. Yeah, could have gotten more overkill damage there, but... Wow, this deck is very good. we do need power though. Like a grizzly would be great to pick up. So we're gonna go. You have more choices at the pelt turn in place, but I think it's gotta be here. I should also get rid of the bones we just got as soon as we can to see if we can replace that. Maybe we'll tutor the pack rat to keep trying to replace that if a fight looks safe for us. Okay, 4 power is not easy for us. 5 bones. No, we have very little bone cost. This cockroach. Do we go 2 of the same type? Let's go 2 of the same type. We have a bunch of insects. Couple canines. That's a great start. We wanted to start with an insect, and we do get 2 insects. And we are looking for power here. So the black goat is not it. The rat king can tutor. I mean, it's the mantis. And the mantis spawns items too. And mantis is not terrible for our power aspirations, because it at least has 2 power. We already have incredible woodcarver totem. So we're definitely going to the mycologist. And I was thinking we double the direwolves. The direwolves are so good. We could double the Gek. 2-2 is a big difference from 1-1. Let's double the Gek. Maybe I should have just doubled the direwolf. Because it's more than doubling the damage, right? If you think, like, say they take 3 damage or 2 damage a turn. One dies in 2 turns, one dies in 3. The one that dies in 2 turns, say it gets 2 attacks, it gets off 8 damage. The one that dies in 3 gets off 3 attacks at 12, they do 20 damage. If we combine them and it's a 4-8 and it survives 4 turns, well, it's doing 8 a turn. So 8 times 4 is 32, right? So we are increasing its damage over time by combining, right? And it seems like we just add the stats together, but fundamentally adding the life together while doubling the attack means this higher attack thing, this thing that's the same total attack from them, is going to last longer than either of those would last individually against the final boss specifically. Okay, we got a double attack thing. So what I want to do is first I want to remember to use the bones, even though they're hard to see, because now we can land the mantis. And we're going to get the Gek here, right, because that's free. Maybe I should have gotten another tutor, but, and the Gek can be used. I think I'll just put it, no, we should put it somewhere where it blocks some damage. It's only going to block 1 hit. We're going to do 4 here, and they're going to hit us back. Oh, we're going to do 5 here, right? I forgot. That's a really good mantis we just got. What was our new item? I wasn't paying attention. I should be paying attention. We got the hourglass. That's wonderful. So if we get in trouble here, we'll use the hourglass, because we don't want those things to level up, right? So let's see what we get. Tadpole. Tadpole's a good draw. We still want to get rid of Tadpole in our deck, but it lets us, we don't need the pack rat here. It lets us clear these off the board more easily. But we're already going to clear that slot. So how much damage are we doing? We're doing lethal. Alright. I will take lethal. We have 2 really nice items. So that's 5 extra damage. Okay, but this highlights. I still think the Tadpole's the worst card in our deck. We just really don't want it as the only thing in an opening hand. I'm okay getting another pelt here. Let's just go to the mycologist. And I don't think there's much for us on the right. We could also use the mycologist to get rid of the Tadpole. But now there'll definitely be a pelt way to turn in pelts. And that can actually thicken our deck, and we want that now. We can't buy that much, but I'm going to get another rabbit pelt. Normally I wouldn't, because these are trash cards for a deck. but this means there will be another place to turn them in. There always is after the third boss, but I'd like to turn it in before that. And I think going to the mycologist to make our direwolf just incredible is a great option. It also means if we get another card duplicator, we can duplicate our doubled direwolf. This is going to be a 4/8. If you copy it and it comes with a slightly different ability and then you combine them, you get the extra ability too, which can be nice. Okay. No, there's not a turn in before the boss. I really thought there would be. I thought that was guaranteed. Okay, I was incorrect. So we might end up going to the final boss with a bunch of pelts in our deck. Alright, we got another double striking thing. But we haven't gotten double striking flyers, and we didn't get unlucky, because if we drew only the whatchamacallit, we wouldn't be able to tutor the tadpole. I should look at the board, but I don't have the chance. So I'm gonna get the mantis here and look at the board. Right. We just take 4, so we don't die this turn. So what I think I am going to do is I'm going to use the hourglass just to make sure we beat this one consistently. The mantis is enough to kill it, and we can tutor something else. Let's tutor the Gek, so that on our next turn, because the mantis will do 3 each turn. The mantis is lethal already, because we get the next turn. But let's add the Gek, go to 5, and this means we can draw from our swirl deck for once, and have another chance to reroll an item if we drew a bad one. Oh, we played it before we had used the hourglass. Did I time that stupidly? No, I didn't. It's just hard to see the bones giver. Alright, so we will play our pack rat just to get another chance to reroll that. Shame to use the hourglass, I just really wanted to make sure here. We got a boulder, that's not ideal. So I should use the boulder because we'll probably have another chance to redraw items because we can get this mantis so reliably in our hand. But that is a shame. It's still, I'd like to beat the third boss with items ready to go for the final one so we can get rid of other stuff. What do we want to do here? I kind of think we should get rid of Tadpole. It's our last chance. We have no more normal fights, though. And the boss's pressure a little slower. We could fill items. Alright, let's set ourselves with items for now. Okay, Alpha's a nice pickup. Alpha's just always a useful card. If any of these were insects, you know, they have tutoring, but Alpha's nice. Nice way to increase damage of whatever tools we have. Alright, that's not amazing. Take pliers. And there's almost certainly nothing at the woodcarver better than what we have. Yeah, that ain't it. Keep this. And second to final boss. We got a good order of the bosses, I should say. I think we went Angler, Prospector, Trapper. But as I've said, I like Trapper last. I think it's just can be tricky to have enough power to deal with his frogs at the start. And also the other bosses scale up in annoying ways. And they're out of order. Okay, so we got a bad opening hand. So I'm gonna make sure we take a little less damage here. And what are we gonna tutor? I kind of just want to grab the Gek. We'll draw more tutoring stuff. We have so much. And I can just start getting rid of the frogs. Yeah, because we have the cockroach too. So if the Gek just dies a bunch, we're good on being able to tutor however much we need. That's all well and good. Main deck, per usual. Okay, and we already got tutoring. So let's use that. Let's finish off. Let's not finish off the flying traps. Let's pick away at the frogs and make sure we have the cards we'll need. So I think the first one we want is Mantis. And we have to get our Direwolf in our hand at the right moment when it won't die immediately. It's nice that our ants bump each other up. And it doesn't matter which lane we clear because, okay, we have the Direwolf too early. Okay, but this lane only has the Bullfrog in it, so we can let the Direwolf land there. Okay, I think I'm going to end this stage. Let's use the pliers. I think we can go to stage 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the Gek into the Mantis. I'm not actually entirely sure how this will work. But the Mantis kills the Leaping Trap, which kills the Worker Ant. And if my Direwolf attacks there, it ends the fight. Let's get an Alpha. We have the Cockroach for any time we need tutoring. So I'm not sure if the Direwolf gets to attack if it wasn't on the field at the start of the turn. I think it doesn't. But its lane hadn't attacked yet. So I thought, yeah, it does get to attack. That's great. And the Direwolf is strong enough. It can clear out a lane on its own. All we have to do is block the other lanes. We can keep all our items. I don't have to use items here. Yeah, we can block all lanes. Let's just block them with pelts. That's the funniest way. Yeah, so next turn the Direwolf will kill the Grizzly, and the turn after that it will lethal them. So we need to block up 3 lanes this turn. But if we do that, we win without needing items. It's always nice. And we can do it. In fact, we can lethal them this turn by using a Mantis for an extra point of damage. And we could have tutored that, so that was guaranteed. We don't need any of this. Let's get the Rabbit Pelt. And block up last lane. But we do have lethal this turn either way. Ah, that was nice. It's nice when you can transition at a point from being completely reliant on items for bosses to your deck can handle them on its own. I should be looking for basically whatever's the highest power here. Now, in general, Pronghorn isn't that great. And the Ant can tutor. Yeah, we gotta take this. It also combines with our other insects. You know, we actually might get more power out of it just by having insects. We want a fat deck. So we don't have to go to items because we're full on items. We could get rid of our Tadpole, but I think the reason to get rid of the Tadpole is more the fights of the third map when they have double strike or bifurcated strike, and I just don't want a hand that only has Tadpole. I think against the final boss, we're not enough pressure that early. So and we definitely don't want to go to the Woodcarver. So I think we can trade in our pelts for things that do damage. And my priority should be damage here. Okay. I mean, it is impossible to turn down a Mantis. Great White can't block, which I hate, but you don't need blocking so much here. That said, I think the hand one, we're just going to have pretty full hands quite often, just because we have a ton of tutoring. And Oh, it's so hard for me to turn down a Warren. I know it has no power. I know I turned down the Great White and the Raven, but I love the Warren. And the real question here is just, can we do enough damage? So I want to avoid drawing the Direwolf because I don't want it to die to the cannons. I really need the Direwolf to punch on the final form. So we might try to avoid tutoring too much to thin our deck, just to make it less likely we draw that too early. Because we really, for instance, don't want it in our opening hand. The stuff will die. Alright, that's a great start. So we're going to start by using our spinning clock to steal one of the 1/8s. In fact, let's kill the other 1/8 and just see if we can do a ton early. Not let the fight elongate. So, Flying Ant. Let's grab our best Mantis. I know I said I didn't want to do too much tutoring. We'll get the Gek after this. We'll get that out. Oh, I probably should have gotten... Okay, we'll get the Warren. That can take a hit. Doesn't need to because the other thing would have jumped in front of it, but my point was to sacrifice it anyway. Respawns an item, and we're going to grab the Gek. We have 5 damage right now. So Gek plus Rabbit equals Mud Turtle. And we're over the damage needed to end phase 1. I'm just going to try to get through the phases as quickly as I can because I want to minimize the chance we draw a Direwolf. So I think it was worth doing a bit of tutoring to get strong enough cards that we can clear phase 1 immediately. Ooh, please give me high power stuff. That ain't it, but the first 2 never are. Okay, that wasn't great. That worked. So we have to get through 2 Mole Seamen. Alright, we could draw from the side deck to remove chances we draw the card we don't want. I'm going to get rid of the Mole Seamen we don't want to see, and yeah, let's just hit them. We won't get damage through this turn, but we will get rid of the Mole Seamen. Sadly, we actually kill it before the cannon kills it, so we didn't need the cannons here, but I'll take it. And we hit him for 6 next turn. I did not know the shield blocked cannon fire. Oh, that's really interesting. Alright, we want to save the alpha for when we have our Direwolf, just to maximize damage. Because, like, I think we should be able to do 80 here, but I have had decks, especially with the Null 0 cost deck, that don't make it to 80. Where you just kind of stall out of cards, and you had your thing that was strong enough to kill any fight in the game where you need to do 5 damage. And as soon as you draw it, you win that fight. But as soon as that's dead, you don't have some kind of way to recur it. Alright, so we got the Direwolf. Let's just pass this turn. We're not going to waste any points of damage now. So any card on the board that can do damage, we will not be sacrificing. We may not play the Gek every turn, because the Gek means it does 3 damage a turn, because it is annoying, and we want Direwolf to do as much damage as it can. So I think what we'll do is we'll play the Alpha next to our Direwolf. And what's helped the most? Probably something like Mantis. So let's play Gek into Mantis. We'll save our cheaper sacrifices. Let's just get rid of Mole and get a bone off it, though. I don't want Mole. I just want to clean out my hand a little. And we'll put in Mantis, because that appreciates being next to Alpha. And I'm going to get the hand card. Ooh, I shouldn't have gotten rid of what I just did. Because I think, we play that right now. This has 6 power, right? Because this is as many cards as you have in hand. Yeah, this should not be a problem. Sadly, our alpha dies this turn. We'll get a couple 2/1s. I think we'll just let the 2/1s fight, like, and we'll build up our hand size. Yeah, if we have them down to like 40-ish this quickly, and we have 2 more turns of Direwolf, this is not going to be a problem. But it is the next thing to get worried about, right? Because we should always be thinking, how are we going to lose this run? What could happen that would ruin it? And we had good items coming into the final boss, which means the first 2 stages shouldn't ever be a problem. But this stage still can be. Note, as long as you have at least 1 lane occupied, they won't hit your face. Now, the skeleton crew will disappear before our turn, so we need to have at least something on the field that's ours. But that'll be the Direwolf. And so even though there are 3 lanes empty after this, it won't go face as long as we block one thing. Kind of cute that we might win with our hand tentacle. Right, so we have a lot of cards in hand. We could also go full on ants for the finish. Let's do ants. I feel like we ended up with a bunch of ants last time as well. I guess we only have the 2 ants. But at least they replace themselves, so that's 4 damage. Maybe I should have played Wolf Cub at some point. I forgot we had the Wolf Cub in our deck. That was so important at the start of the run. Okay, Mantis is decent damage. So we're doing 6 right now. And then we'll do the hand tentacle. I think that should be enough. I think our hand's big enough. Beautiful. All right. So yeah, despite the fact that I, on video at least, took more tries to beat the this one than I did the Bones deck, and despite the fact that we're now 2 out of 3 victories on recorded runs, I think this deck, it's much more reliable than it is with the Bones deck. I think this is probably the best deck, and we're gonna see me failing a lot more when we move to other decks. For the Bones deck, including the first run I recorded where I did lose as my intro to Inscryption video, on videos I attempted to record, I probably went 2 for 10 on the Bones deck, which I think is about my correct rate. And this one I now went 1 for 2, which is definitely better than my expected rate, but it really feels like a deck where just about every run you have a chance, right? The first run, I thought we were in very good shape, and then a fight came that just killed us. This second run, I thought we were in kind of poor shape early, but some things came right, and suddenly it was pretty straightforward. So I think often people struggling, if you like look at the Reddit, they get recommended the Mantis deck or the Goat deck, and I think those are good recommendations because I think this deck, you need to take what comes. You don't have this kind of straight strategy, but it seems so powerful to me. Just no cost stuff lets you go so many different directions, and as we see here, those directions can be really, really strong. We got very lucky with totems. You know, there were a bunch of things that have to come right. It's not guaranteed or anywhere close to that, but it's something like any run you play, you feel like you have a chance. And even though this one started what I thought was pretty poorly, it always feels like you have a chance to win if a few things come right, or a few things come even okay. Um, so I really like this deck. I think the next deck we'll run will be the kind of the worst version of this, the egg deck. I think it's an interesting, different thing because you also effectively have things you can sacrifice that do not have a blood cost, which makes it very similar. The difference is none of them come with any power, so they're not as easy to build up as the Gek or even the Tadpole, which does evolve after the turn. And secondly, it can be hard to get started on them because you need something else to be played to get that first bone to get playing them, and they can fight over your secondary resource of bones. And so you have even less power, but you also don't have a single 0 or 1 cost thing, so it's much easier to go into fair hand mechanic. So it's definitely worse, but is it that much worse? I think it's an interesting difference. And I think it's the bad version of this deck. But I think a lot of people look at the decks and they go, okay, Waterborne sucks and Eggs suck. And then I think most people probably have answered. I think the default ranking is Blood and Trifurcated as the top two. And then I think most people have Null third, and I have Null first. And I think most people have Bones fourth, and that's probably about right in my opinion. And then Vanilla, which I think is underrated. I'm not sure I'd rank it higher than fifth, but it's like fifth, but close to the top crew. Like, I think Vanilla is barely, this is probably insane, but I think Vanilla is barely worse than Goat or Trifurcated. I really like Vanilla. And then Ant sixth, which I think is slightly overrated actually, and Bones and Waterborne seventh and eighth, which I think Waterborne's terrible, but Bones is actually pretty good. Probably still sixth, but like sixth, well ahead of Ants. All right. So 2 decks down. I took 2 runs on this one and like effectively went 2 for 10 on Bones. So call that 5 runs ish on that. And my first run, I think I did do my first video I attempted to record there. I think I did do 5 runs. So that seems like I was a little lucky here. You know, I should beat this more 2 out of 5 or 1 out of 3, but gives a sense that this deck is the better deck. And I'm not looking forward to Ants videos. That might take like 10 hours of tries, and Waterborne might take infinite. But I think most decks I should be able to beat within, say, like 3 hours. Just a long time to talk, but I have fun with this game. All right, we'll end this video.